BlackRock is loading the boat. They're backing up the trucks. They are putting in massive orders to buy Bitcoin. They are swallowing up a ton. They just hit 2%. 2% of all the Bitcoin that will basically ever be created is in their ETF right now. I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some other big news in terms of another $1 trillion, somewhere around $1 trillion that could be unloaded into Bitcoin, that has access to Bitcoin now. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Also, check out the link underneath the video to Margex. You can trade cryptocurrencies using leverage. You can get set up in just a few seconds because there's no KYC. So just put in an email, a password, check their terms and conditions, and you can open up your account. And you can long this market. I still think this is a great time to open up positions to get ready for this next leg of the bull run, because it seems like we have forever and then we take off. Also, you can trade some of this volatility when there's FUD and you think, well, I don't really know about this FUD. I don't think Tether's really getting looked at by the Treasury. I actually talked about that in my last video. They're not getting looked at by the US government, in my opinion, or even if they are, it's not really news. So you buy this dip and then boom, we come right back up to 67.2. And then there's a war in the Middle East, but then it comes right back up. So if you want to trade this, there is a link underneath the video to Margex. You can also short the market. You can bet on the US elections. You can do all that on Margex. But let's take a look here. A lot of FUD this week. Tether, AML. A lot of people thinking maybe today it came out that Tether was being looked at by the US government. India banning crypto. Denmark taxing unrealized gains. War back on the table in the Middle East. Time to stack like it's 1999. This is coming from James Van Stratton. Now, this is maybe a little bit telling where he thinks the market's going. A mega bull run for a year and then maybe a cool-off period. But yeah, we did hear some news about war potentially back in the Middle East, which scared the markets again today after the Tether news earlier today. So pretty interesting there. But at the same time, right around the same time, we got news that BlackRock made history today. BlackRock iShares, they bought 291 million Bitcoin, $291 million worth of Bitcoin, which is 4,357 Bitcoin. Overall, the ETFs bought about 6,000 Bitcoin for just over $400 million. This is on top of all the other buys that they've done recently. They've been swallowing up Bitcoin like mad over the last 2 weeks. I mean, just yesterday, let me show you this. Just yesterday, I posted about BlackRock buying 33,000 Bitcoin so far this month. And now they bought significantly more. They bought another 4,300. So how much Bitcoin do they have? Well, now, as of today, they have 403,714 Bitcoin. Now, this is over 2% of the supply right now, not 2% of the overall supply that will ever be circulating. To be clear, that number, let me just pull it up, 21 million times 0.02, it's 420,000. So they still have another 17,000 Bitcoin, and then they'll own 2% of all the supply ever. I also think, though, that there's a good amount of the Bitcoin supply that's been lost over the years. We might be at more like 15 million Bitcoin. So when you take that 403,000 divided by 15 million Bitcoin, they actually have over 2.5% of the supply that's available. Keep in mind, there's not all that much Bitcoin on the market right now. It's 2.4 million Bitcoin, and that's generous, I think. BlackRock alone has bought 403,000 Bitcoin this year. Overall, the ETFs are nearing in on 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the supply. Okay, that is significant, and that supply might not come back to the market. I mean, when you look at the large entities that are buying Bitcoin or that have bought Bitcoin over the years, a lot of them have just held it. They're not worried about it. It's, I don't want to say a home run play or a moonshot play for them, but it's not their bread and butter. It's not what's weighting down their portfolio. It's not like they need the Bitcoin to live on, right? The Winklevoss twins do not need to sell some of their Bitcoin for living expenses. This is how a lot of wealthy individuals do things. They buy assets, and then they have other businesses that continue to spit off cash flow. So how much of this 403,000 Bitcoin is held by people like that versus maybe traders, right? There is a good amount of money that is trading, and there's also a good amount of money that's just parked there for 20 years in a retirement account. Now, I think this will be interesting to see over the next couple months after the election clears up. Where does this go? Does it continue at this very fast pace? Because right now, I think what's holding back some people is just uncertainty. Uncertainty over the Middle East, but uncertainty over elections, uncertainty over the Fed. And after that, people look and say, wow, well, BlackRock has bought 37,000 Bitcoin this month. 37,000 Bitcoin. Then the month before that, it was 9,000. The month before that, it was 15. The month before that was 36. The month before that was 15. And they'll just look back and think, wow, I really should allocate a little bit more Bitcoin to this. And if you're a hedge fund, you say, well, someone's been allocating a significant amount to IBIT. I know I haven't. Maybe I need to put some money into Bitcoin too so that I don't get outperformed. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that happens after people realize how significant this is and how much Bitcoin is being put in by BlackRock, I'd say one of the most powerful institutions in the world. And they're not the only ones that are buying Bitcoin right now. Emory University reported owning $15 million through Grayscale Bitcoin Trust Mini. Why they would pick the Mini Trust, I'm not exactly sure, but this is pretty cool. University endowments hold $840 billion in assets. Okay, and they're focused on long-term investing. This is very cool. A lot of people are saying that this is the first university to buy Bitcoin. To be clear, there was news on a different university earlier this year, I want to say maybe a quarter ago, that has a investment fund that's led by the students, and they bought some Bitcoin proxy, or maybe it was a Bitcoin ETF. I can't remember at the moment, but they had access to buy some Bitcoin through that. But sounds like this is the actual university, which is very cool. I think this is bound to happen more and more. And yeah, this unlocks $840 billion in assets. Keep in mind too that there's just been so much good news. Yeah, there's been FUD over the last day. But look at the options now that are going to be available for the Bitcoin ETFs. Look at the possibility of large companies buying Bitcoin. Look at everything else that's happening, right? This is going to be really cool. The next year, I think, is going to be amazing. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video, though. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's the link underneath the video to Margex. I'll see you all in the next one.